Good day. The state television company of Western Armenia presents all the most important events of these days. Today's broadcast: a $500 Armenian tombstone was found in Dersim. Tourism of Artsakh after the war. What are the new directions and formats? Great Britain joined the US and France. Russian-Turkish Agreements are aggression against Armenia. Greek edition: Azerbaijan would have lost if Turkey had not provided its unarmed aerial vehicles. Constantinople will host a festival of fairy tales in the endangered languages. The ancient structures of Western Armenia Hogots or Hogeats Monastery. Pamela Steiner's reference to Armenian Turkish-Azerbaijani relations. Hovhannes Bachkov is a three-time champion of the European Boxing Championship. An Armenian tombstone stolen last year from a historical site was found in the Dersim province of Western Armenia. This tombstone with the image of ram's head was stolen from 500-year-old cemetery in the village of Chilga in Dersim, which local residents reported to the museum department of the province of Dersim. The representatives of the museum appealed to the relevant authorities. This tombstone, weighing about 200 kilograms, was seen in the village of Buzluplar in Dersim, behind an abandoned house. The relevant bodies took it to the museum immediately after finding it. The Turkish media do not indicate that the tombstone was Armenian. However, the images of the tombstone prove its Armenian identity. Head of the Tourism Department of Artsakh, Yerevan, presented the main directions and existing difficulties in the field of tourism of Artsakh. After the war, a special list of safe places for tourists was created in Artsakh. With the loss of territories we have lost already, established tourist places with their infrastructure and roads. Therefore, we would pay attention to rural hikes, since not all cars can pass along these roads, Arakelan said. Among them are the village of Vang in the north with Hostess Monastery, the palace fortress called Gates, which is the ancestor of Hassan Jalalians, the village of Tzmakahoch, Koladag, the village of Tzahkashat, Astkasher with its famous stars, etc. In the south, the tourist destinations are the Amaras Monastery, Tangeri, and Bovurkhan Monastery. Before the war, citizens of the USA, France, Germany, Poland, and China also visited Artsakh. After the war, foreign visitors of Artsakh are mainly Armenians of Armenian origin, as well as the citizens of Russian Federation. The British ambassador James Sharp, in an interview with the Azerbaijani service of BBC, said that London would prefer to see multinational peacekeeping forces in Artsakh rather than exclusively Russian ones, so that the OSCE Minsk group would conduct negotiations on a ceasefire. The ambassador said that the status of Artsakh continues to remain unsolved. The issues of the final statements, the peace treaty, should be resolved, and a Minsk group co-chair should play a role in this, Sharp said. Thus, the UK joins the co-chairs of the OSCE Minsk group, the United States and France, who do not accept the Russian-Turkish Agreements and a trilateral statement on a settlement. Russia sees their role in the Minsk groups, the UN and other structures, exclusively in humanitarian issues, excluding the political component. Russia did not demand the withdrawal of the Turks from the territory of Armenia. In fact, France, the United States, and the United Kingdom state exactly this fact, considering the Russian-Turkish Agreement aggression against Armenia. According to a well-known Greek publication, an Azerbaijan drone was recently spotted on a Greek island of the Aegean Sea during the FS 2022 exercises in Turkey. Turkey introduces Azerbaijan to the environment of the Aegean Sea so that, if necessary, Azerbaijan will repay its debt to Turkey for the victory in Artsakh. Without the use of Bayraktar, this war will have ended with the defeat of the Azerbaijanis, the Greek edition notes. It recalls that a military festival held in Baku a few days ago, Erdogan again made statements to Greece. It should be reminded that within the framework of the above-mentioned exercises, the Turkish fighter jets violated the airspace of Greece and flew over the Greek territory. In the Khalkedon Quarter in Constantinople from June 4th to 5th, 2022, a festival of fairy tales in languages on the verge of extinction will be held, within which fairy tales in the languages of peoples living under the Turkish dictatorship, recognized by UNESCO as endangered, will be read. During this unique festival, a concert will be held at which songs in the endangered languages will be performed, as well as exhibitions and posters on the theme of native language. Thanks to the festival, the sound of of disappearing languages will become audible to the world, and fairy tales in these languages will be recorded. The event will draw attention to languages on the verge of extinction in Turkey, among which there are a total of 15 languages: Western Armenian, Hamshen, Zaza, Laz, Georgian, etc. Naturally, it is pleasant that such events are organized, thanks to which it is possible to raise the issue of modernity of Western Armenian language and literature written in our native language. The position of Western Armenia regarding this festival is as follows: all the rights of indigenous people should be protected and applied in their own territories, not only with the support of international organizations and not only with the field of culture, but also in their own will and initiative in any field. The monastery of Hogots was a 6th century building. It was located in the Artsakh country of Azerbaijan province of Western Armenia. According to tradition, it was founded as a convent by the Apostle Bartholomew in a place of the temple dedicated to the goddess Anahit. In the 4th century, the Hogeats Monastery was a place for bishops. Hogeats Monastery was a famous writing center in the 17th century. It was rebuilt in 1730, 1765, destroyed in 1895, and renovated again in 1904. After the genocide, the monastery was abandoned and completely destroyed by the military and the treasure hunters. Pamela Steiner is a senior researcher at the FXB Center for Health and Human Rights at the Harvard School of Public Health, who has been a clinical instructor in psychology at Harvard Medical School's Cambridge Hospital for 12 years. His book Collective Trauma: Genocide of Armenians examines the conflict of more than 100 years of Turkish-Armenian Azerbaijan relations since 1839. The book is intended to understand the psychology of both victims and criminals, from political and military figures to workers and villagers. Steiner suggests more successful solutions to conflict that will allow these countries to grow and survive in a healthy way. Steiner divided 18 chapters of the book into 4 parts. Part 1, Collective Trauma Introduction. Part 2, A Brief History of Armenian-Turkish Relations. Part 3, The Right, the Violence of Armenia-Azerbaijan Relations in Transcaucasia. Part 4, Analysis and Process of Collective Trauma. Is another future possible? Member of the Armenian boxing team, Olympic bronze medalist Hovhannes Bachkov became the champion of European Championship for the 3rd time, having recorded a historic result in the history of Armenian boxing. In a final of European Championship held in a current Demircan Sports and Concert Complex in a 63.5 kg weight category, Hovhannes Bachkov competed with the Lounès Hambroun from France. Bachkov won with the score 5-0. Hovhannes Bachkov is the 3rd Armenian boxer to become European champion 3 times. Western Armenia congratulates the glorious Armenian athletes and wishes him new victories. Now musical part: Armenian folk song. The full version of this video is available on Western Armenia's YouTube channel. This was all for today. Goodbye.